The world needs law and order. Civilized communities would be all at sea without it. Whilst rules and regulations, infringement notices and penalties may get on everyone's nerves on the odd occasion, deep down we know society as a whole could not function as we know it without law enforcement and a clear sense of what is right and wrong, just and unjust. Here in Thailand, whilst technicalities may differ from other parts of the world, having a clear understanding of what is offensive and inoffensive, criminal and legal, fair and unfair, is paramount in order to be able to function cohesively, particularly as a foreigner in a different country to that of which we were raised. Mr. Phillip Sweeney from Opus Law Firm in Sukhumvit, Bangkok, imparts some of his local knowledge and intimate understanding of the overall legal system here in Thailand.
The legal system in Thailand is what's called a civil law system. The legal system in England is what's called a common law system. That means in Thailand, in very general terms, the law is derived from the civil and the criminal codes. Those were laws that were drafted 100 years or so or more ago, and they form the basis of the law here. In England, the situation is different. The law has evolved over many hundreds of years, and law is more made by the judges in England, although Parliament does have Acts of Parliament that draft and enact laws. It is interpreted by the judges much more than it is in a civil law system such as Thailand, where the judges really have to follow much more strictly the way the law is written down. France is a civil law system, Germany is a civil law system, so that the law of Thailand, France and Germany is much more similar than the law of England compared to Thailand. The law of Thailand is the law of Thailand, and it relates to foreigners as much as it relates to Thai people. So action can be taken against foreigners. What I suppose has to be taken account of is whether the foreigner has the ability to leave the country before any action can be taken. But Thailand has some fairly strict criminal laws in place, and if a foreigner is to be prosecuted, either privately or through the police and the prosecution, and the police are investigating a case, the foreigner will more than likely end up having their passport taken off them, having to post bail, or they will be put into prison, which is not clearly a very pleasant experience. But that's if the foreigner can be found before he disappears. And of course, if a foreigner is intent on committing fraud or crime and they leave the country, leaving people behind, then it depends very much on where they go as to whether they would be brought back into Thailand through extradition rules or treaties, depending on the crime that is alleged against them.
So should you find yourself in the unfortunate situation of being on the wrong side of the law, no need for concern just yet, as Opus Law's team of highly trained, professional legal staff are simply a phone call away.
I think there are certain things they have to be very careful about in Thailand, particularly young people who come here. You get a lot of holiday makers, backpackers, students who come to Thailand because it is a beautiful country, it's a lovely destination, it's a great place to have a holiday. But back home, whether they're in the UK or Europe or the United States, the laws on drug use are much more lenient than they are in Thailand. That is one thing that they should be very aware of. If you are caught in possession of drugs, or more seriously, you're caught selling drugs, then the penalties can be extremely severe. That is something that anyone should be warned about. Other matters that people should be very aware of are, for instance, the rules relating to what is called lèse majesté, which is in any way insulting the royal family. That carries very strict penalties. And they should also be aware that there are very strict defamation laws in Thailand. It is and can be proceeded with as a criminal case, and say anything bad about somebody, you can end up in serious trouble. And what they should be very aware of, particularly at this moment in time, where there is a military government in place is that it is important not to be seen to be criticising either the military or the police, because that could result in very severe penalties.